Hello student, I Dr. Shafali Jain, Assistant Professor, Tirthankar Mavi University. Student, in the previous video, we also discussed the quantity theory of money, the transaction approach, Fisher version. Now, this video, we will discuss about the cash balance approach. But first of all, we also discuss what is the quantity theory of money. In the previous video, I have also discussed it. The quantity theory of money is the oldest theory for determining the value of money. It was proposed by French economist Jean Bodin in 1566. It was further elaborated upon by the Italian economist Davanchati in 1588, the English economist John Locke in 1691, and the David Hume in 1752. In the 20th century, economics such as Erwin Fisher, Marshall, Pigou, Robertson, and other addressed the theory and others addressed the theory extensively. Professor Milton Friedman has put forward modern theory, modern quantity theory. According to the quantity theory of money, the average price of transactions in an economy is proportional to the nominal quantity of money is circulation. The theory states that as the quantity of money price level rises, the value of money decreases. According to J.S. Smith, the value of money, other things being the same, varies inversely as its quantity. Every increase of quantity lowers the value, and and every diminishing raising it in a ratio exactly equivalent. So, in the word of Fisher, other things remain unchanged. As the quantity of money in circulation increases, the price level increases in direct proportion, and the value of money decreases, and the vice versa. There are two versions of the quantity theory of money. The transaction approach, which is given by the Irvin Fisher, for which we have also studied in the previous video, and the cash balance approach, which is given by the Cambridge economics. So today we discuss about the cash balance approach of the quantity theory of money. The Cambridge cash balance approach is a version of quantity theory of money. It is popular in Europe, especially in England, and it is developed in 19th and 20th centuries. Cambridge cash balance approach explained and developed by four Cambridge economists. The Cambridge monetary theory, also known as the Cambridge cash balance approach, is an economic theory that emphasizes the role of the money in the economy. The theory was developed by a group of economists of Cambridge University in the early 20th century, according John Maynard Keynes, and it has been influential in shaping modern macroeconomics theory. So, this approach was given Cambridge economics Marshall, Pigou, Robertson, and Keynes. The cash balance version of the quantity theory of money is popular only in the 20th century, following the lead of the Dr. Marshall, some Cambridge economics, especially Pigou, Robertson, Keynes, including R.G. Hawtrey, popularized and also give the difference views according in this version. And this version of the quantity theory of money known as the cash balance approach. On accounts, its emphasis to cash balance instead of transaction. According to cash balance approach, the value of money depends upon the demand for money. But the demand for money arises not on account of the transaction, but on account of it being a store of value. So, uh, according to cash balance equation, value of money is determined by the demand for and supply of money. At any particular point of time, supply of money remains constant. Hence, change in demand for money have more influence on the value of money for price level. This referred to as demand theory uh, sorry, this theory lay more emphasis on the demand for money than its supply. It is therefore also referred to as demand theory of money. Supply of money is equal to notes plus coins plus demand deposit. Demand for of money is equal to cash balance. According to this equation, a supply of money remain constant. Increase in demand for money or cash balance will lead to fall in prices because people will desire to hold large parts of their income in the forms of cash and so will have less demand for goods and services and it depend and if demand of money decreases, there will be more demand for goods and services, and hence price level will rise. So, according to the theory, the demand for money is a key determinant of economic activity. People hold money not only to facilitate transaction but also as a store value. Therefore, the demand for money is influenced by income level, rates, and the level of prices in the economy. The theory argues that if the money supply grows faster than the demand for money grows faster than the demand for money also grow and inflation will occurs conversely if the money supply grow more slowly than the demand for money deflation or recession may occurs. So the theory also emphasizes the role of the central bank in controlling the money supply such as open market operation, changes in the discount rate, change in reserve requirement to influence the money. So, supply and interest rate in the economy. The theory suggests that the central bank should aim to maintain stable price and the full employment in the long. This theory consists that the supply of the money always controlled by the central bank and it remain constant in the short run. So, in simple, we can say, according to cash balance approach, the value of money depend upon the demand for money. But the demand for money arises not account to transaction, but on account of being a store of value. Money has two characteristics flatness and roundness. Money sitting and money on wings to serve as a store of value, as a medium of exchange. In the one use, money piles up, and in the other, it runs round. So, according to the advocates of this theory, the real demand for money comes from those who wants to hold it on account of various motives and not from those who simply wants to exchange it for goods and services just as the real demand for houses comes from those who wants to live in them and not from those who simply want to contrast and seal them. The cash balance approach relates the process of determinants of so the cash balance approach relates the process of determinations. So the cash balance approach relates the process of determination of the value of money to cash, the subjective valuations of individuals who are real force behind all economic activities. Such an approach enable us to throw more light on somewhat puzzling phenomena of the velocity of circulation of money by so the cash balance approach has reference of the store of the value function of money. The type of demand for money uh, arises from the fact that holding of money has great utility as when it is held, it occurs wealth value and instead of interpreting the demand for money with reference of its medium of exchange function as it is done in the transaction approach. It is interpreted with reference to the store of value function of money in the cash balance. It is the demand for money sitting rather than money on wings that matter. It may, however, made clear that in determining the amount of these cash balance, the individual and institutions are guided only by their real value. Thus, an individual is concerned with the extent of his an individual is concerned with the extent of his liquid command over real resources. The community's total demand of money balance constitutes a certain portion of its annual real national income, which the community seeks to hold in form of money. It means liquid cash. The community's demand for real cash balance in this sense varies from time to time. Thus, given the state of trade and volume of plant transactions over a period of time, the community's total demand for real money balance can be presented on a certain fractions of annual real national income. So, in this approach, there are also given some assumptions. Money is neutral in the long run. Money is non-neutral in the short run. There is a stable demand for money. Money supply is the endurance. The economy is in a state of constant disequilibrium. So here also given many equations. Marshall's equation M is equal to ky plus k dash a. Here Marshall explained clearly the substance of the cash balance approach version of the quantity theory. He says in every state of society there is some fraction of their income which people find too worthwhile to keep in the forms of currency, and it may be fifth or tenth or uh, 20. So he also gave his equation m is equal to k by plus k dash a. Here m is quantity of money, y is monetary income, and k that parts of income which people desire to hold. K has a very significance uh, role. K is the parts of income which people want to hold. A wealth, and K dash that parts of wealth which people desire to keep cash. Here y is equal to P0. So, Marshall also defined that Marshall says that holding of money involves a sacrifice because when we hold, we spend less. To have too little holding money may means inconvenience. To have too much may means unnecessary. Somewhere between the two extremes, every person, every family, every community fixes the amount of money. It will keep it is convenient to think of this amount as given proportion of people or persons or families or the community's annual income. Marshall says this proportion may be it is always the result of deliberate decision. None of us have the money. None of us has the money holding. We have quit by accident. This is in the most real sense. The demand for money. Suppose at one time people want to possess cash balance worth one tenth of the annual income. Now they want to have cash balance representing 1/7 of the national income. This means they want to have more cash with them, which is possible only by curtailing expenditure on goods and services, which in terms means less demand for them and hence a fall in their prices. Similarly, if they want to have less cash balance, they will spend more and the prices will be pushed up. So, according to cash balance approach, the value of money depends upon the demand for money to be kept as cash. If one puts the problem as one of the amount of money an individual will choose to hold, the framework of this approach that suggests itself in one in which constraints the opportunity cost are the central factors interaction with the individual's taste. So, as far as the Cambridge approach is concerned, the principal determinant of people's taste for money holding in the fact that is convenience to have being universally acceptable in exchange for goods and services. The more transactions an individual has to undertake, the more cash will be he want to hold. So the cash balance approach states that it is not the total money, but that portion of the cash balance that people spend with the influence the price level. Most people hold a cash balance in their hands rather than spending the entire amounts all at once. So Robertson also gave their equations here. P is price level. M is quantity of money. T quantity of goods and services purchased during 1 year. K that portion of T yani quantity of goods and services which people wants to keep cash. So P is equal to M upon KT. And we also says uh, M is equal to PKT where M the money supply, T price level, you can say also T total value, volume and transaction and K is the demand for money that people want to hold as cash balance. So Robertson gave these equations. According to Robertson, the demand for money is for store of value or holding value. And Keynes equation Keynes has laid more stress on consumer goods. In his opinion, people want to keep cash balance to purchase consumer goods. This equation is called real balance approach. Keynes also gave his N is equal to P K plus R K dash. N is equal to total quantity of money. P price level. K that portion of consumptions goods which people wish to keep cash. R the proportion of cash reserved in bank deposit. K dash that portion of consumer goods which people wish to keep as bank deposit. So, uh, Keynes says that K, the part of money kept for purchasing consumer goods, are ratio of cash balance out of the bank deposit with banks. K dash means quantity of money in banks to purchase consumer goods and which people want to keep in bank, and if K or K dash and R assumed to be static, then P will change according to the changes in K. And so Keynes says, and Keynes equation considered the demand for money for practical point of view. It analyzes the value of money in short period because Keynes says that in the long period we all died. The demand for money in short period is static. This equation combines both legal tender money and the credit money. But Keynes' definition is also criticized because in this definition it is difficult to, because in this definitions he also take K, K dash and R, and it is very difficult to measure K, K dash and R. This equation ignores the velocity of real money and credit money. Present consumption has been given preference, whereas demand for money in the field of speculation and investment is more important. And effect of the changes in the rate of interest and bank rate on the ratio of different types of deposits has not been explained. So, but Keynes definition is also considered best. And Pigou definitions, Pigou's equations, where Pigou P is equal to KR upon M. KR upon M, here M is equal to total quantity of money. R total real income. K that portion of real income which people wish to keep in cash. P is equal to value of money, and he also modifies equations. M is equal to KR upon P and C plus H 1 minus C. C cash with people 1 minus C bank deposits. H cash reserve ratio held by the bank. So Marshall cash balance approach was further developed by his student Pigou. Pigou is the student of Marshall, and his version also seems very good. He also, first of all, he also say P is equal to KR upon M, where P is purchasing power of 1 unit of money. K, the ratio of money which is